and how you get a vaccine that making 7 billion of those is going to be an incredible challenge. And so if everything goes perfectly with the RNA approach, we could actually beat the 18 months. We don't want to create the flu vaccine isn't that effective in elderly people. Most of the benefit comes from younger people, not, if we have, 1 in 10,000 side effects, that's, way more, 700,000, people who will suffer from that, undernourished, existing comorbidities. It's very, very hard. Social isolation that we're doing to, get the disease numbers way, way down. So it's disconcerting.
I'm sure you're very prepared because you knew this was going to happen. Do you feel like you prepared for this?
Fire, war, earthquakes. And so government, anything like this for the 100 years. And I actually thought that anniversary of 1918 would, galvanize people as well. And if the whole country does a better job of shutting down and we get prioritization of the testing that's going on.
First of all, that's why I call you the most generous, and I should include Melinda in this too. You're both extremely generous. You donated $100 million. So how is it so? And she never had fever. She didn't have the same symptoms that everybody. She never once had fever. So let's end on a positive note. What gives you hope?
Almost a kind of worst case scenario. The ingenuity of people, the compassion of people, hopefully this will renew our sense that we're kind of in this together, in our communities and our country. And, if we had kept on going to work, traveling like we were, we've had to use quarantine, which is a, old thing back from the days of the plague. Dr. Fauci's doing a very good job of saying the numbers are what count here. But I do think if we get the testing fixed, we get all 50 states involved, the best people at the foundation who are all about high volume vaccines, Taiwan, who were exemplary, saw the problem and really got the testing, community-wide testing done very well. And, we're all in this together. We've got to get rid of coronavirus from the entire world. That allocation, prioritization, it just happens the number of PCR machines in that state are very few. And you wouldn't think, hey, that's the way this should be done. A full-blown simulation. There were a few things done. Well, it's hard to put money into something. I'm really stunned at how, tough it is to go through this. I even friends that I would normally go see, we're doing video conferencing, which seems a bit unusual, just in their apartment. Some with their kids there feel like it's very crowded. So how do we help? For me, my life is just completely different. I wake up every morning and think, is this real, or was it something to the world that we had before coronavirus? Is the vaccine, that's a global problem. And, so I'm glad, that people are coming together. Very few countries are going to get an A grade for what that scrambling looked like. And now here we are, say we get a therapeutic that's partially effective. It'll be in short supply. What will the allocation be? Likewise for the vaccine. We can take some of the, mask and ventilator and other things that have been ramped up. I use therapeutic for treating somebody who's ill. So that would be like, maybe, although the evidence is very, very weak, hydroxychloroquine.
What do you think are the key elements around developing a successful vaccine? Is it money? Is it political will? What do you think are the key elements to that?
Well, we definitely need to fund the research.
When will there be a vaccine? How do you see that?
Well, it's a perfect question because we want to get back to the life we had before coronavirus. And, people are seeing if you want to wait and see if a side effect shows up 2 years later, that takes 2 years. So this is a public good. And so, those trade-offs, the government's working on a cooperative basis, ventilators, how do you prioritize the diagnostics? That we're just figuring out as we go.
Do you think that, was that, do you think, partly a financial decision, that it wasn't deemed to be worth investing that money in something that maybe other people didn't see as clearly as you?
You have to charge mostly a break-even price for things that are helping out with a global crisis like this. So, we weren't ready for this pandemic, but I do think we will be ready for the next pandemic. And yeah, your speed of reaction is so crucial here because it grows exponentially. If you're there 2 months earlier, we should be able to have diagnostics within a month. We should be able to have therapeutics in more like 4 months.
The way they've reacted, and to a degree, it's inevitable that that thought process will be something that happens in the future that we look back on. I mean, can you sort of talk us through what you see from what's happened so far?
Actually, our foundation is the biggest funder of vaccines for infectious disease. There could have been more. CEPI is the one thing that did happen there. And, now, like are young people part of the infection chain? So I do think we will deal with this opening up phase in a more collaborative, is completely disrupted. Your normal pattern of go to meetings, watch sports events. This thing, in my lifetime, this is the most dramatic thing. I'm doing video meetings. I hardly see people at all, and how hard it's going to be to get back to the normal life that we had before.
On that note,
您在用什么样的心态面对这种声音？
I'd say it's an ironic if you take somebody who's doing their best to get the world ready and, putting, in my case, billions of dollars into these tools for infectious diseases.
New Supreme. DNA Force has been sold out for months, but now it's back in stock and 50% off when it comes to boosting your body's natural defenses. DNA Force Plus is at the top of my list. The ingredients in this are incredible. PQQ, CoQ10, astragalus root, reishi mushroom, and so much more. Next up is Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula with up to 95% curcuminoids in it. This is a concentrated extract with 2 other ingredients to supercharge it and deliver it into your body's cells. Don't have to tell you about turmeric and its history and the fact that the average turmeric out there is about 3 to 5% and it's still amazing. This is the strongest turmeric that we could find and develop and get into your hands. It's amazing, and it funds the InfoWar, and it's 40% off right now at InfoWarsStore.com. In the time we have, I can't get into all the amazing ingredients in Living Defense, but look into black walnut for yourself. You want to flush your body out? You want to energize? I'm telling you, listeners go crazy with this. You got to go read the reviews for yourself. It's amazing. Living Defense is also 40% off. Do I need to tell you about zinc and how important it is, or the other vitamins and minerals? It's in the Real Red Pill. It's in the Real Red Pill Plus. This is an absolute must-have, not just in these crazy times, but all the time. Essential vitamins and minerals with pregnenolone, the Real Red Pill. And then there's triiodine. This is a basic building block. Do your research. Triiodine, InfoWarsLife.com. X3, selling out, but I lowered the price to 60% because you and your family need this. And you can get all this and a lot more at huge discounts at InfoWarsStore.com.